Good morning. Today is Sunday, June the 18th, and I'm Sister Charlene Winston. I'll be bringing you the Sunday's lesson this morning. And we first want to give honor to God for allowing us to be in the land of the living. And we want to thank Him for all the blessings that He has bestowed upon us. Our lesson this morning, we are completing our lesson for this week, and it's Jephthah's answer and vow. And our lesson this morning is coming from Judges, the 11th chapter, the 4th verse through the 11th, and the 29th verse through the 31st verse. And it said, read Judges 11, 1 through 40. And our lesson is coming from the Sunday School book, the Bible Expo and Illuminator, the Union Gospel Press. And the golden text this morning is Jephthah said unto the elders of Gilead, if ye bring me home again to fight against the children of Ammon, and the Lord deliver them before me, shall I be your head. Judges 11 and 9. And we're going to get ready and begin reading the scripture lesson. And the scripture lesson text read, and it came to pass in process of time that the children of Ammon made war against Israel. And it was so that when the children of Ammon made war against Israel, the elders of Gilead went to fetch Jephthah out of the land of Tob. And they said unto Jephthah, come and be our captain, that we may fight with the children of Ammon. And Jephthah said unto the elders of Gilead, did not ye hate me and expel me out of my father's house? And why are ye come unto me now when ye are in distress? And the elders of Gilead said unto Jephthah, therefore we turn again to thee now, that thou mayest go with us and fight against the children of Ammon, and be our head over all the inhabitants of Gilead. And Jephthah said unto the elders of Gilead, if ye bring me home again to fight against the children of Ammon, and the Lord deliver them before me, shall I be your head? And the elders of Gilead said unto Jephthah, the Lord be witness between us, if we do not so according to thy words. Then Jephthah went with the elders of Gilead, and the people made him head and captain over them. And Jephthah uttered all his words before the Lord in Mizpah. And the 29th verse reads to the 31st, it says, then the Spirit of the Lord came upon Jephthah, and he passed over Gilead and Manasseh, and passed over Mizpah of Gilead. And from Mizpah of Gilead he passed over unto the children of Ammon. And Jephthah vowed a vow unto the Lord, and said, if thou shalt without fail deliver the children of Ammon into mine hands, then it shall be that whatsoever cometh forth of the doors of my house to meet me, when I return in peace from the children of Ammon, shall surely be the Lord's, and I will offer it up for a burnt offering. Amen. This is a great and powerful lesson. We went through all the situations with Jephthah and him leaving home, being put out of his home. It appears that it was a big uh, distress between him and his brothers, and even the elders got involved in it and was along with them in putting him out of the house, and uh, that he went into the land of Todd and became a part of a renegade uh, bandit, and he became head of that. But now his brothers that had put him out and the elders come to him and want him to be their head, to be their lead. And it doesn't really say that his brothers is there asking him to come, but it does say that the elders of the city is there. So I'm not sure whether the brothers came, but the elders, the ones that agreed with what was going on, did come to put him out. And as they came to him, he said, you want to make me head the uh, over the army. Well, will I be the lead? Will I be captain? Will I be the head over all? And they agreed to this because they needed help. And Gilead had Jephthah had went out and became very strong and powerful in going in war and doing things of that nature, and they knew that he had the capabilities of bringing them through. And so when Jephthah did this and was being successful. Then he went to the Lord and asked, said, without the Lord even asking him for a vow or asking him for anything, it said, as we mentioned earlier in the week, that he opened his mouth with the wrong statement. He said he made a vow. It was one thing to vow it to the Lord, but to say he would offer it as a burnt offering, God did not even ask anyone to offer anything up for a burnt offering. So he went too far with that. I'm going to read you a short passage from the heart of the lesson from the Sunday School book, Union Gospel Press. It says, the threat of war, Judge 11, 4 through 5. The Ammonites, descendants of Lot, had been oppressing Israel for 18 years, and now they were threatening all out war. Once again, Israel had turned from foreign gods, repented, and asked God for help. The threat was especially severe for the tribes of Reuben, Gad, and Manasseh, which resided in Gilead, the area east of the Jordan River, closer to the Ammonites. Number two, the offer to lead, Judge 11, 6 through 8. As the elders of Gilead looked among themselves, they saw no one qualified to lead them into battle except for Jephthah, a man they had driven out of Gilead years earlier because of his background. He was the son of a prostitute. Jephthah had been leading a band of renegades and knew how to fight. The elders humbled themselves to and begged Jephthah to lead them into battle. Jephthah reminded the men that they were the very ones who had hated him and forced him to flee. He was not good enough before, but now that they were in trouble, they wanted him to ask his life and lead them into battle. What had changed? The elders explained again that they needed him to sweeten the deal. They essentially reputed their earlier decision. If Jephthah would lead them into battle, they would make him ruler over all Gilead. The answer before God, Judges 11, 9 through 11. Jephthah wanted to make sure he had heard right. He used the communication technique counselors recommended. He repeated back to the elders what he thought he had heard. Did they really mean that if the Lord's help with the Lord's help, he was victorious in battle, they would make him the civilian ruler over them? Here, Jephthah expressed his faith and understanding that the Lord was the one who won the battle of Israel. The elders confirmed Jephthah's understanding of their offer and invoked God as their witness. Jephthah later repeated his conversation with the elders to the Lord. He wanted to be sure God was with him. Number four, the bargain with God, Judge 11, 29 to 31. As Jephthah prepared for battle, God's Spirit came upon him to supernaturally empower him for his task. But as Jephthah journeyed to meet the Ammonites, he still wanted to make sure God was really with him. So he made a bargain with God. He vowed that if God gave him victory, he would sacrifice to God as a burnt offering the first thing he saw coming from his house to greet him. God had not asked Jephthah to do anything in exchange for his help. Jephthah made the vow out of his own weakness and need for certainty. He thought he had to do something extra to gain God's favor. Just in case he did not think through the possible results of his rash vow and later suffered heartbreak at the outcome. Jephthah's willingness to forgive and help those who wronged him is a powerful example. His vow reminds us to be careful of what we vow to God. And as I said previously, it is not certain that his daughter was used as a burnt offering, but it has been said by many, in which I do agree with, primarily that she was sent to an area where she was not with her family, and that she was to remain a virgin for the rest of her life. And it does kind of bear out when you read the scripture lesson a little closer. I pray that you meditate on this wonderful lesson today, and y'all have a blessed day.